Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're stepping into the incredibly bizarre, highly magical, and just totally captivating world of the Mahabharata. We're going to unpack a story that literally has it all. I mean, we're talking ancient vendettas, shape-shifting demons, some truly bizarre culinary murder plots, and a holy sage who engineers a perfect princess completely from scratch. If you're fascinated by how ancient texts build up to these monumental confrontations between good and evil, well, you're in the exact right place. We're looking directly at the ancient source text today, just to see exactly how the stage was set for one of mythology's most legendary showdowns. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this. The entire narrative we're exploring today is framed by a single burning question, asked by King Yudhishthira. He basically wants to know, why did the illustrious holy sage Agastya slay a man-destroying Daitya, a demon named Vatapi? And furthermore, what was the true extent of this demon's power that required someone as incredibly powerful as Agastya to step in? Yudhishthira is asking the storyteller, Lomasa, to explain the root of this incredible wrath. But to understand the answer, we actually have to travel back to the days of yore, way before the ultimate clash, just to understand exactly how the villains of our story got their terrifying start. Now, to really get the stakes here, we first need to understand the superpower system of this ancient universe. It's called ascetic merit. In this world, this spiritual power is gained through extreme physical and mental discipline. And this isn't just a sense of inner peace. It grants holy men, known as Brahmanas, literal superhuman abilities and cosmic favor. This is absolutely crucial to keep in mind because our antagonist, a Daitya named Ilwala, recognizes this power. So Ilwala approaches a Brahmana who possesses massive ascetic merit, and he makes this huge demand. He asks the holy man to grant him a son who is equal in power to Indra, the king of the gods. It's a really bold, honestly arrogant request. And the Brahmana, well, he flat out refuses. And right there, that is the exact moment the cosmic scales tip toward chaos. On one side, you have Ilwala's ambitious request for a godlike heir. On the other, the Brahmana's absolute refusal. And this isn't just a simple rejection. No, this is the spark that ignites a terrifying, bloody vendetta. Inflamed with incredible wrath just because he was denied by one holy man, the Asura Vatapi doesn't just get mad, he gets even. From that day forward, the text tells us, Ilwala makes it his life's mission to become a mass destroyer of Brahmanas. He declares an all-out, one-sided war on all holy men endued with ascetic merit. Now, what's really interesting about this demonic dinner trap is the sheer, gruesome creativity of Ilwala's revenge. He doesn't just attack these holy men with swords or anything normal. He uses his dark power of illusion to set a seriously macabre trap. So, step 1, he transforms his younger brother, Vatapi, who, by the way, can assume any shape at will, into a ram. Step 2, the flesh of that ram is properly dressed, cooked, and served to unsuspecting Brahmanas as a meal. Step 3, once the holy men have eaten, Ilwala uses his magical voice to summon Vatapi back to life. And get this, even if Vatapi had gone to the abode of Yama, the god of death, he would still return. And step 4, well, it's a horrific finish. Hearing his brother's call, the mighty Asura Vatapi laughingly rips open the flanks of the Brahmana from the inside out, killing his host instantly. So operating out of the city of Manimati, this wicked-hearted Daitya Ilwala and his shape-shifting, chest-bursting brother Vatapi essentially become an unstoppable killing machine. I mean, they're frequently taking the lives of the most powerful, holy men in the world using this twisted culinary trick. They are a true unstoppable force, armed with the power of illusion and a deep, deep hatred for the holy class. So that's our first storyline. The villains are established, they're lethal, and they seem entirely untouchable. But as you know, every unstoppable force eventually meets an immovable object. Which brings us to our parallel storyline, introducing our hero, the illustrious sage Agastya. But we don't meet him in a moment of triumph. No, we meet him in a moment of profound, surreal horror. Agastya discovers his deceased ancestors hanging in a literal pit, suspended entirely upside down. When Agastya asks them what on earth is happening, they deliver the ultimate ancestral guilt trip. They tell him, it is even for offspring that we stay suspended in this pit. Basically, because Agastya hasn't perpetuated his race, because he hasn't had a child, his ancestors are trapped in this bizarre, hellish limbo.
And this brings us to a critical turning point. Faced with the agonizing, upside-down hell of his ancestors, this man, endued with great energy, doesn't make excuses. He makes a holy vow. He tells his ancestors, "Let this anxiety of yours be dispelled. I will accomplish your desire." He promises to beget a good son so that they can be saved from this hell, and so that he too can obtain a blessed state. So now, Agastya is a man on a desperate mission. He needs a wife to have a son. But there's a major problem. He cannot find a single woman in the world who is worthy of his immense spiritual stature. So what does a fabulously powerful sage do when he can't find a wife? Well, he engineers one. Agastya uses his massive ascetic merit to literally craft a human being from scratch. The text actually says he took parts that were regarded as highly beautiful from various creatures possessing them and assembled them to create an excellent woman. It's like a giant magical puzzle. But he doesn't just keep her. In a masterful stroke of long-term planning, the holy Muni, the sage, gives this newly created girl to the king of the Vidarbhas, a ruler who is currently undergoing ascetic penances because he too desperately wants offspring. And this brilliantly illustrates the rapid magical rise of this engineered princess. From day one of her creation by the Muni to taking her birth in the royal line of Vidarbha, much to the joy of the king. The Brahmanas bless her and bestow upon her the name Lopamudra. Growing quickly, like a lotus in the water, she reaches puberty surrounded by 100 virgins decked in ornaments and 100 maids waiting on her every need. She's raised not as some magical experiment, but as a fiercely protected, deeply cherished royal daughter, completely devoted to truth and excellent manners. But Lopamudra wasn't just well-mannered. She was terrifyingly beautiful. The source text compares her effulgence to the star Rohini, shining in the firmament amid an inferior multitude of stars. She was so radiant that she surpassed even the celestial nymphs, the Apsaras, in her beauty. And this creates a really fascinating dynamic. Her beauty is so intimidating, and her father, the king of the Vidarbhas, is so fearsome and protective that as she comes of age, a strange silence falls over the kingdom. Absolutely no one dares to step forward to ask for her hand in marriage. Which brings us to the final piece of our puzzle, and quite frankly, a massive dilemma. The king of Vidarbha looks at his perfect, radiant daughter, who has attained puberty, and reflects in his mind, "To whom should I give this daughter of mine?" He has no idea that her creator, Agastya, is waiting in the wings, needing a wife to save his upside-down ancestors. The pieces are all finally on the board. We've got a powerful sage desperate to start a family, a miraculously engineered princess ready for marriage, and a pair of demonic brothers cheerfully slaughtering the world's holy men with magical chest-bursting sheep. So how will Agastya's quest for domestic salvation lead him directly into the blood-soaked dining room of the demon Ilwala? What happens when the holy creator of life meets the ultimate destroyers of it? Well, I'm going to leave you to ponder that until we explore the next chapter of this incredible ancient epic.